wasn't the plan. Don't wanna demand it. I've done what I can. And I never mentioned the times you were rude. And I never mentioned when you hear the truth. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? Got me saying away. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. I don't like to leave things unresolved. Maybe it's madness. I'm begging you, please pick up the call. You're causing me damage. I should've known, wasn't your fault. Don't even matter. I wasn't thinking clear, trying to take it there. Scared to lose it all. I won't stand a chance. And I don't wanna fake it. What if I can't walk away? You got me standing in the rain. Hoping I don't make the same mistake. Same mistake. Hoping I don't make the same mistake.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Shenandoah Esports broadcast. It is spooky season here in our esports arena in Winchester, Virginia. As you may notice, we look a little different than usual, and we've got some exciting stuff going on behind us that I'm sure you'll see from time to time. But we got a really fun show for you. My name is Chris Clayton, and I'm joined this time by Kyle Dexter in for Kevin Clayton as he goes to class right now. But we are here with some Week 6 NACE Varsity Plus action from our Smash Academy roster.
Yeah, today is a really special day. Obviously, it's Halloween, and just to see the crazy energy, just the really cool and zany costumes from everybody. It's such a cool thing to experience, while also competing when half the Academy team's wearing their costumes. Something really funny about that. But this is going to be a real good one for sure.
Yeah, we'll have some pleasant surprises for you, I'm sure, anytime we're on camera. But we also just had a costume contest in here. And for any of you who may have been here for that and are in the arena listening to us now, we will be announcing the winner of that costume contest after our first set here. So be sure to stick with us through the whole thing. But especially, we got a big reveal there after our first set. So with all that out of the way, like we said, we will be casting some Academy Smash today from our second Smash roster, right? Usually, you're the guy sitting behind me and playing, and I'm talking about you with Kevin. But this time, we get an opportunity to talk about some new people. So today, Week 6 competition, Shenandoah Academy will be going up against Randolph Macon. And we have the standings we can show you here in a moment as we take a look. Both of these teams right about in the middle of the pack. This is going to be a real close one.
Yeah, and I believe we are playing Randolph Macon tonight.
Yes.
So their record 4-1, still very, very tough opponent to come across. At the top of my head, I'm not too sure who they lost to. I want to take a guess. That's NKU. But Shenandoah still 3-2. They still have a chance to make this back after their tough loss from last week. But Yeah, this should be a good one nonetheless. Still winnable for the side of Shenandoah.
Yeah, and this is an important week too, because I believe with how playoffs work in this level of competition, this could be, depending on how results shake out, this could mean the difference between a postseason and not. So it's hard to really say it's black and white, but certainly important no matter the results. And so a lot at stake for both of these teams as we will be moving into our competition soon. And Kyle, I want to take a moment to ask you, because like I said, normally it's me and my brother up here talking about you guys. This is a first for me casting over this roster. So what do you like? What should we at home know about the people behind us?
So I really like their diverse cast of characters. They all their characters serve like different roles in like a crew battle. We do have just to go quick over the roster, we have Kenza on the Mii Brawler. How like terrifying Mii Brawler is at such a one of the lower levels of Smash.
Yeah.
Those deadly combos with those like ending with a thrust uppercut. If you're not ready to DI that, you could lose your stock very quickly. And Chiliad with such a consistent character like Joker, who has such a has a tool for just about any situation, could go for a more like flexible position. And even then, if Chile doesn't want to go for Joker, they can go with the Kazuya they've been training up for the past few weeks. I believe they've been getting some guidance from Will on certain things about Kazuya, like how to more consistently get these inputs or how to push the advantage. We also have Wayland number 5 on the Ganondorf. So this is a very clear role, just to take stocks with how volatile of a character Ganon is. Even if he might not be the best character, he's still very possible for him to take many stocks. Just the fear factor he brings, especially in the crew battle. And we also have Robot Ninja on the Cloud, similar to Chiliad, where Chiliad's Joker, where Robot Ninja on the Cloud has just about any tool you can think of for any situation. We also have NN Gaming as a sub on the Little Mac, similar to Ganondorf, just trying to take as many stocks as you can while just being just exerting so much fear into the opponent, just how devastating Little Mac's advantage state is on the ground. We also have Tripophobia. Similar to like Joker, we have Game & Watch, who has a lot of tools up his sleeve. We also have Bowser, so just he's like Ganondorf, so it has like just big hitboxes, very strong kill power, but also has way more tools to go with it. Like Ganondorf is really slow, but Bowser has one of the highest run speeds in the game. Extremely fast character, but also being the heaviest character in the game. That is so scary to deal with. And yeah, that should be it for our new roster.
Yeah, certainly very different from what we're used to seeing on this desk and, on this show Thursday nights, right? But, I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun, right? We're certainly going to have a very volatile matchup here, right? This is so different than what we're used to, and you said it, with characters like Bowser and the Mii Brawler and potentially even like another Kazuya, but like a different Kazuya could really throw us for a loop here. But we should be getting into game here pretty soon. It looks like our players are taking a quick button check, so that for those of you at home and who tend to watch our streams regularly, that means we're getting pretty close to the action. So we will be loading in fairly soon. We did a little bit of research into their roster, the Randolph Macon roster, and we struggled to find too much information.
Okay.
I was able to talk to Igloo, the team captain of the other team, and he told me that he kind of struggled to find much on this team. So not only do we have a couple surprises in store for us in terms of our own roster, but we also don't have a ton on the other team.
Yeah, that's certainly a mysterious roster to get into. Very fitting for Halloween, Not scary, not knowing where you're going to get into.
Yeah.
But judging from this button check, it looks like Randolph Macon is going for the Jigglypuff into Kenza's Mii Brawler, which I can imagine being a very scary matchup for Jigglypuff, considering just the threat of thrust uppercut and Jigglypuff's like very lightweight. if you're not ready to DI that Jigglypuff cruiser stock as early as like maybe like 30% of the top platform of like Battlefield.
Oh, man. Yeah, that's so scary. And we have been seeing more of our own Jigglypuff recently with Farambus finding more playtime on the varsity roster. But a big thing that comes up anytime we do see that Farambus Jigglypuff is recoveries. Like, it felt like every time that Farambus went in on the Jigglypuff, it seemed like his opponent was always had a considerably rough recovery.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, like, Brahler, I guess, has different up-Bs, doesn't he? Different ways to recover. So do you know how this might look?
So I believe the set that Ken's is running is the, well, we know Thrust Uppercut, where it's like the kind of like the Mario-looking up-B. For the side B, I'm not entirely too sure. I think it might be Burning Dropkick. I think it's more of like a burst option that could be like safe on shield, I believe. I think for the down B, it is Feint Jump. So if you're familiar with Zero Suits, like Flip Kick is another like recovery tool just for Brahler to mix up his recovery options. And for the neutral B, I'm also not too sure. I believe it's either Shot Put, the projectile, or the Flash and Mach Punch that you can combo off of like a landing up there into the Flash and Mach Punch, which could kill like really early percents off the top.
And yeah, so we have a lot to learn, right? As we prepare to get into game, you know, we talk about how we don't know the enemy roster coming at us. We also don't know our own character's moveset, right? That's the beauty of these Mii fighters, or the Mii characters, is that you get to choose your moveset, right? There's so much variation, and, you know, I feel like especially in, like, the sword fighter, I guess it's kind of in all three that I see a good amount of variation. But, yeah, so, I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun here as we prepare to load in. We've got a lot that we're about to learn about both of these teams.
Yeah, and more about the Mii fighters. It's so interesting to see how like they work and like that the rules that have to be put in place just for the Miis. Like you are like since you are allowed to like technically counterpick with different Mii sets, you are allowed to ask them like before you play like what set you're running. So it's very important to ask that if you know you're gonna play a player that is running one of those Miis. And it's so weird to think about for some of the Mii's playstyles. Like Brahler, it makes sense. You know, it just very rush down, gain your face. And Gunner also makes sense. You know, Zoner also has a lot of like projectiles. Also has some projectiles to set up for like traps. But weirdly enough, Swordfire doesn't play like your traditional Swordfire. It's just trying to play the mid-range. Swordfire could kind of play more of that Zoner like play style. But anyway, we're about to get into this game. Kenza versus Randolph Macon on the Jigglypuff.
Yeah, as we load into our first matchup here, you said it, Mii Fighter against Jigglypuff. Kicking off this series so far, Kenza getting very aggressive, going far off stage, and that's something that you're probably going to see a lot of, right, with this type of sort of in-your-face character, right, not giving you much time to breathe. But of all the characters to struggle with that, or I guess of all the characters to kind of counter that, it's going to be a Jigglypuff, right? Jigglypuff can make it back from so far away with however many jumps this character has, and yeah, I mean, I imagine Kenza's going to struggle to get many kills off stage unless he is truly launching them into the blast zone.
Yeah, and that is very true to think about. Oh, no, unfortunate. Getting the Sane into the rest. Very well placed from Randolph Macon's Jigglypuff. And going back to the recoveries you were saying, Chris, yeah, it's very hard to hit Jigglypuff when she is off stage, depending on your character's moveset. For this case, Brahler, you might not want to go for the edge guards. You might just want to opt to try to go for the ledge trap instead, because of just how many jumps she has. The very niche thing you could do to edge guard her is you just keep footstooling her jumps, but that takes a lot of like good timing, and that's also assuming if the oh no, another res is gonna hit. Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunate beat there as Jigglypuff finds another Sing into the rest, but promptly responded by Kenza with a quick up smash. And I want to take a quick moment to acknowledge that we have seen the moveset come out, right? We know that the neutral B is the shot put. You said the flip kick, and I believe we've seen the recovery as well. So all of the interchangeable aspects of this character have now been revealed.
Oh,
but
no.
an up tilt into the rest will finish the job. Randolph Macon starting off strong, taking their first 3 stocks to take the lead.
Yeah, very well played from Randolph Macon's Jigglypuff. you know, very well at hitting those confirms either from rest or up there. You know, just very ready to go for those reads to try to bait out like a very like defensive option, like those panic air dodges that a lot of people like to go for to get out of like Jigglypuff's like airspace when you're getting caught up in your combos. But good recognition from the Jigglypuff to take that.
Yeah, and I do wonder, like, we saw 2 sings lead to kill confirms, and I remember talking to Igloo after seeing a Far Rhombus series, excuse me, that he said that move is trash. Like, that move should basically never be thrown out, and I'm curious how you feel about it, because, look, I mean, we'll see these replays. I believe both of the first 2 stocks came off of sleep confirms.
Yeah, so it's very weird with Sing, because you're never going to land on, like, a stray, like, landing in neutral, but the way that Randolph Macon used it, they used it in a way that acts as like a punish of some sort. You saw in that second replay where Kenza missed the Thrupper, and instead of like going for like a backer to punish the end leg, the Jigglypuff opted to go for the Sane, which basically guaranteed the rest. And for the first one, you saw that the Jigglypuff was hoping that Kenza would be air dodging in from the combo. Very funny thing we have to call it in the Smash scene. We call it the American air dodge.
Really?
So in the higher levels like of competitive, in the first like few years of the game being out, there would be this habit that a lot of like top American players have, where they were just air dodge back to stage when they're like recovering. We just call it the American air dodge because you never really see that from any other region.
That's so interesting. I always love niche little like fun facts about community-based games like that. That is very interesting. That I don't know. It's so unique that like different regions can have such different playstyles on the same game, and I've never entirely understood that, right? Especially like, you know, I come from like a League of Legends background. I've played plenty of video games, but like the fact that a Korean player playing the same exact video game with the same exact patches and updates and meta, quote unquote, could actually have a completely different meta from a North American team, and they both find results. I don't know. I mean, regional differences always make me laugh, but we have received word that our next competitor will be Ganondorf. I believe Wailing number 5 will be player number 2 for Shenandoah.
So I believe their goal here is to just abuse the varying weights of the characters. Ganondorf very heavy but very slow. But we saw from the Jigglypuff not trying to go for more like campy playstyle, camping in the air. Obviously, playstyles can change as on the matchup, but we just have to see how that goes. But I believe they're sending Willie number 5 here so they can get that, just abuse the fact that Jigglypuff is very light. She dies very quickly once you get your hands on her, and that's just the whole goal of it, just to hit her like a few times and she's dead.
Yeah, and I don't mind telling you that when Kevin and I are up here, this is a certain playstyle that we love to watch, right? The Ganondorf hard reads that kind of just come with the character, right? We know how slow and heavy hitting this character is, but it comes at a cost, right? You said it, not exactly the best character in the game, and it takes a certain amount of confidence and aggression to be able to capitalize in those moments. And I believe you just saw at home, we do see that Wailing number 5 is wearing a costume today. I believe he's dressed up as quote-unquote Modelo Man, but I also see a Kraft mac and cheese box on his wrist. So, getting creative here on Halloween.
I believe he was also, he had a Paisano's pizza shield as well.
Oh, man.
He also had a sword. I forgot what brands were on those, though.
Okay, well, we'll be sure to keep you up to date. Once he gets off the hot seat, I'm sure he can make an appearance behind us. But
for sure.
Yeah, I mean, these players are playing right behind us, right? We've got an awesome little atmosphere going here in the esports arena on Halloween Day. We've got our decorations out too in front of us. I actually only noticed that during the first game while we were in game. So we like to party around here.
We take Halloween very seriously here, Chris.
Absolutely.
And speaking of serious, it's time to get back into the game as row number 5 is going back in.
Yes, Willie number 5 will be the next competitor to try to take on this Jigglypuff from Randolph, Macon. 2 stocks remaining on this Jigglypuff. Can he take them? We shall see, as Ganondorf certainly should not struggle to kill Jigglypuff at most percentages. It's a matter of can he even get his hands on it.
Right, that's the thing, right? Just varying like speeds of the characters. Like Ganondorf very slow, but Jigglypuff very tricky with her air movements. So she's going to want to be in the air all the time, and she has a very poor ground speed. But it's another thing. Jigglypuff very much capable of getting these air dodges, dying at 44 to the F smash, the hurt box shift. Very well played from Willie number 5. And here's another thing. Let's be very careful not getting edge guard here, as Ganondorf has a very, frankly, bad recovery. And with a character like Jigglypuff, she's very good. Oh, good awareness from Willie number 5. Shielding, oh my goodness.
Yeah, those are the types of reads that we were talking about, right? Can he get another one? I'm not sure, but like 3 heavy forward smash coming out, and the one that took the stock, just a slight step back, being aware of your own spacing, right? And finding an aggressive move like that has so far worked out great for Wailing number 5 here. Is now even percentages and 1 stock remaining on this Jigglypuff. If Wailing number 5 is able to make it back, he's not. Does lose that stock, and that's the recovery we were talking about. He will lose his first stock, but 10 to 8 is the total stock count, and if he's able to get this one, certainly not a bad draw for Shenandoah.
Yeah, and unfortunately did not have that jump on the recovery, but round number 5 has been having a good job. Oh no!
Goodbye.
Missing the confirm from the up air. Round number 5 taking it, only losing 1 stock. And like I was saying before, Chris, round number 5, for the most part, doing a good job is just staying on stage, recognizing the fact that Jigglypuff just easily just take advantage of Ganondorf when he's off stage like that. Opting for more, like, just trying to stay more center stage, try to just keep her away, gain that stage control that Jigglypuff loves to have, which made it very hard for the Jigglypuff to get any sort of, like, reward in from hitting him.
Yeah, and we saw the recovery come back to bite him, too. This trend of, Jigglypuffs on this show going up against tough recoveries. And Ganondorf certainly no exception, as he gets launched just a little too far off stage without his jump. No shot. He's making it back from that. But ultimately, a strong showing from Wailing number 5, right? We saw that aggressive, heavy read style of play that you kind of need to see if you were going to find success with Ganondorf, right? It's going to take some wild predictions and aggressive maneuvers, but as we take a quick moment to enjoy them all again, I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's that slight step back into forward smash. Whew, that is scary.
Yeah, and as you saw, missing that up air confirm, very unfortunate considering the fact that the Jigglypuff had such a good track record of hitting those for the majority of this game.
Yeah, and as we await the next player from Randolph, Macon, we will let you know as soon as we figure that out. It does seem like these teams are taking their time, right, between sets. We know that each team is given it. Do you know how much time, like, each team is supposed to have between players? Not actually sure.
Like, as far as like rulebook goes?
Something like that.
I believe since this is NACE, I believe per each like task, so how the tasks go for Smash after a game is the losing team has to select their player that you send in next. Before that, there's like a 2-minute timer, and there's also once the player/character gets sent out, the winning team has 2 minutes to decide what stages they want to ban, and then it's back to the losing team to go back into the arena and just play it out. So I haven't really seen any like this really being used at all, but you can rulebook the other team if they really are taking too long. And I believe the penalty for that is losing 3 stocks.
Oh, wow.
Thankfully, we haven't had to see that in action just yet.
Yeah, and you certainly don't want to fault any team for taking their time, being strategic, making sure that they are doing what they think is best. But it does look like our arena or not our in-person arena, our Smash Bros. Arena is having some issues as well. So slight delay here, but I'm curious as we await this next player that has to take on a Ganondorf. it's like normally in these situations I ask Kevin, what kind of playstyle do you expect like has the best chance of taking out this Ganondorf? But with Ganondorf, it really feels like most characters would not hate a matchup against Ganondorf.
That's unfortunate for Ganondorf. You are correct.
Yeah.
There's only a few characters that Ganondorf can say he wins or at least goes like solidly into. You can think like Lucario or like K. Rool. Like Ganondorf does pretty solidly into like other big body like heavy characters for the most part. He does okay into like characters like King Dedede and King K. Rool, but for like faster characters or characters that can just run him over, let's say like Sonic or like Pikachu, that a lot of people say that like Ganondorf versus Pikachu, that's like probably the worst matchup in the game, just because how fast Pikachu is. He has such an amazing projectile in Thunder Jolt, and Pikachu's like small hurt box. He's very susceptible, just a low profile everything. So if a Ganondorf were just like jab, the landing animation of one Pikachu's aerial is he would just crouch under that, and that's so frustrating for Ganondorf.
Yeah, that's insane to think about, but it will not be a Pikachu on our screen. The answer to Wailing number 5's Ganondorf will be a Piranha Plant. How do you feel about that, Kip?
Very interesting to see, Chris, considering Plant not really that great of a character either. So there might be a chance for Wailing number 5 to get some mileage off of here, just purely going off the tier gaps, but if we're talking about Piranha Plant, that character has honestly one of the best projectiles in the game. But doesn't really have much else for the character. Missing the tech on that up air on the edge guard attempt. Excuse me. Good awareness from Wailing number 5. You know, just trying to get these very committal options, very big buttons to catch the Piranha Plant off guard. Missing the down air on the recovery, but makes it back scot-free. Perfectly spacing around Piranha Plant's burst range. Piranha Plant very heavy, but not very fast either. Has a very short burst distance. Oh, unfortunate, jumping right into the Batui. But if you're Ganondorf, you don't really have much of a choice to make it back onto the stage.
Yeah, unfortunately, the recovery has not changed since the Jigglypuff matchup. We talked about how much that Ganondorf would struggle against situations like that, and we know how dangerous that projectile can be. You said it, one of the best projectiles in the game, and it's certainly good at what it needs to do in moments like that, right? That angle, that downward angle off stage, but we do see Wailing number 5 finding some combos of his own, the forward tilt off the ledge. Can he get anything off stage? Not quite, as we now get back safely onto stage and launch each other in opposite directions.
This is what I'm noticing from Wailing number 5. He likes to go for those Wizard's Foots to try to make it back to center stage. He would just force his way back into center stage. You know, it's maybe more of a unpredictable like burst option coming from number 5. As he has more stage control, the Piranha Plant is shown to be very scared of when he's put in the corner versus Ganondorf. And frankly, who isn't with such massive hitboxes from those smash attacks, that big sword, and just those massive hitboxes and amazing kill power from like his forward air as well. So if Ganondorf were to just guess right on your get up, it's the end of your stock. Unfortunately, does not get the out smash out of shield in time. No buttons being pressed there, and missing the tech. How unfortunate. Wailing number 5 had that interaction. If he just up aired when they were just at a standstill off stage, that would have been another stock taken.
Yeah, that's tough. Going for another one of those super aggressive reads that, I mean, like we say, you know, you're a genius if it works, and we hate you if it doesn't. Right? It's a double-edged sword, but yeah, I mean, it's strong showing it nonetheless, getting that one stock from the raw power of Ganondorf, right? We know how hard this character can hit, and we see that on full display, but unfortunately, Ganondorf goes down, meaning Shenandoah is left with their now 3rd player remaining. And I'm curious, off the players you listed before the series, who do you think has the best shot of now taking 2 stocks off of Piranha Plant and potentially some extra credit?
So, for what I'm gathering here is, judging from our roster alone, I would say either Tripophobia on the Game & Watch or Chiliad on the Joker, because those characters just flat out are just like way better than Piranha Plant. Yeah. But you know, I can really see an argument for both players, but a little bit of spoilers here. I do see Trypophobia on the Game & Watch, so I was correct on my guess. So a very important tool that Piranha has in not only neutral but like advantage state as well is that Patui. You know, that little spike ball that comes out as he blows out. Game & Watch can reflect that with his bucket. So usually you do not want to be above Piranha Plant because he can just pop that Patui very quickly, and once he hits you with it, he can very quickly act out of it and try to go for like a forward air or something. But if you're Game & Watch, you can just reflect that even if you're on top of him. But that does bring like an interesting like 50-50 scenario, because any like up angled like move that like up like input for Piranha Plant is very strong. It has a very strong up smash, very strong as well, very strong up throw, which you're going to want to be grabbing Game Watch a lot. He's going to want to fish for those uppies out of shields anyway, but we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, as we load into our next matchup here, Trypophobia on the Game & Watch. You sure were right, as now tasked with erasing a 2-stock deficit is a tall order, but certainly not impossible, as Trypophobia is a very strong player and on a pretty strong character that has certainly the tools to take potentially 5 stocks.
Yeah, and as you see here, Cherrify again not getting very like accustomed to this playstyle, this Piranha Plant. You see a lot more down B from the Piranha Plant as well. Maybe trying to play a more pokey playstyle with that armored move from the down B, extending the neck, trying to get those, trying to catch those neutral get-ups with the down smash. I believe that worked a lot, very well versus going number 5. Worked a couple times, but here's the scary part, being above Game & Watch, constantly getting juggled by those up airs. There you go, getting the uppy out of shield. What's the play next?
Yeah, look at these juggles, man. That is just terrifying, being above this character as wow. Just the chair puts it to bed. Piranha Plant going down, losing his now 2nd stock total, as 7-6 is the stock count. But Piranha Plant with that up throw at 145% will surely send him into the blast zone. 5-7 now your stock count, as we see Trypophobia trying to get some momentum, try to take the stock without getting into too much trouble.
Right, and as I was saying before, a very strong up throw, especially with how light Game & Watch is, one of the lightest characters in the game, so there's really no question whether or not that was going to kill or not.
Yeah, and you know, we talk about kill throws and how, you know, certain characters just really don't have them. I guess Game & Watch kind of has a kill throw, right? Would it be his back throw?
It's really hard to say for Game & Watch, because on an outsider's perspective, it's really hard to tell what throw he's doing right out the bat, because you're not going to know until like the direction gets sent at, because the animation for all of the throws, they're like pretty much about the same. But I feel like the closest thing he has to a kill throw is down throw, which I would say is like barely a kill throw. It doesn't really kill to very late percents, but Game Watch has varying different ways of getting those stocks. Maybe like a back air, edge guard like we might see here. Okay, no, I can go for the life trap, which is on the Game Watch. Also has that invincible up smash, a very safe as well. Same with that down smash. Going for that forward air to end the game. Great job, Cherrify, hanging on to that 2nd stock, considering how light Game Watch is.
Yeah, you said it. Hanging on to that 2nd stock is really going to be a difference maker, right? As we move through this series, I mean, your stocks are your lifeline, and Trypophobia able to erase a 110% stock that he just took there, as he now gets to move into a new matchup with a fresh 2 stocks, only down 1 in the series.
Yeah, and I want to say good adaptation from Trypophobia. A very common thing that frustrates a lot of newer players versing Piranha Plant is that you can't really run him over if Piranha Plant is going to be opting to go for those Patuis a lot, even like in disadvantage, because if Piranha Plant has the Patui up, if you were to hit him while it's still up, the Patui would still be active and fall down. So that's something that Cherrify was doing at the start of the game. He was opting to go for those like be in his face, try to just rush him down with like those big hitboxes. But even then, still getting hit by those Patuis. And as you saw at the end of the game, he's trying to play a little more like mid-range, trying to play around the Patui's range, and it's clearly seemed to work well for him as he held on to that 2nd stock.
Yeah, and now with a 1 stock deficit, right? Trypophobia doing his job so far, right? We said
Yep.
Racing a 2-stock deficit is a tall task, and as we await the next opponent, right, that will be a big tell for how Trypophobia will have to navigate this series score. But we are receiving word from our production once more that it is looking like, I believe, a Zelda player will be next up for Randolph Macon. And I'm curious, how do you feel about that with Game & Watch?
That's such a weird thing to think. That feels like a weird pick to me, because obviously we don't know Randolph Macon's full roster. As far as like Zelda plays like this weird like zoner kind of like archetype with the Denz Flare side B and the Phantom down B. Game Watch can reflect the Knight, which is very scary, which is like Zelda's main like setup / like zoning tool. But you can also absorb the Denz Flare side B. So I'm going to be really curious to see how the Zelda wants to play this out. Maybe going for those very strong aerials that Zelda has, the forward air / like back airs. Very small like sweet spots. When you land that sweet spot, it's almost like a smash attack with how early you could explode, especially when a character like Game & Watch who's just so light.
Yeah, and we have seen the tip of that forward air do wonders, do disgusting things in the past, but it does look like we are loading into our next matchup. As we see, we are correct. It will be a Zelda against the Trypophobia Game & Watch now with a 1-stock lead. Randolph Macon looks to put SU away, but Trypophobia is saying, not if I've got anything to do about it.
I do like the stage pick here from Trypophobia, going for Kalos. Actually, even if this is Randolph Macon's stage pick, I do like this for Game Watch as well, as the bigger blast zones allow Game Watch to just a little longer, even if he dies to the Phantom Ledge Trap at 72. That's just the nature of Game Watch. Sometimes the stage doesn't help you with how early you can lose your stock.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing, right, about the light aspect of Game & Watch and the insane kill threat that those Phantoms can have. And sure enough, Trypophobia losing his first stock, unfortunately, but building some momentum of his own, right? 81%, certainly nothing to scoff at, and relatively unanswered, right, as Trip only finds himself at 14%. Trying to put this one away pretty quick, and we see the bucket come out, but Zelda smart to hold it and go get a grab off of it.
Right, and that's not that the Zelda, oh my goodness. Wow, what a good setup from the Zelda there. Very good awareness of like the anti-zoning capabilities that Game Watch has with that bucket. You saw around that mid-range when the Phantom was fully charged, we saw that Trip was holding that bucket out, but the Zelda was able to get a grab out, was also like a down tilt to lead directly into the Phantom. And you saw also all those jump call-outs to try to stay out of like the side range of Zelda with those explosive like kicks. With that very big up air, very strong. Even on a stage like Kalos, where it's very tall off the top, could very well still kill Game & Watch.
Yeah, and a great job from this Zelda, right? Finding those mix-ups, releasing the Phantom at different times, because we saw it. Trip knew the game plan, and with the bucket into these Zelda projectiles, including the Knight, but able to hold on to it long enough to find a grab, and then letting it go early before Trypophobia can even react with the bucket. Great stuff all around from that player, as now they, I believe, they didn't lose a stock, right?
I believe not. I believe the Zelda still held on to her stock, so I believe it's now 6-3 in Randolph Macon's favor. But we did get word from production that our Shenandoah's final player and anchor will be Robot Ninja, the captain of the Academy team on the Cloud.
Yeah, a scary player here. We know that this player has a lot of potential. This is one of, if not the strongest player on this Academy roster. And if you're tasked with taking 6 stocks, this is certainly the player that you'd want to have going out in this situation. And we'll see. Cloud is an interesting character, right? This character is very strong, right? Can find kills in various ways, right? Has threats all around, but that recovery, again, kind of scares me.
Yeah, like outside of that recovery, I would like to consider Cloud as like the pinnacle of like consistency in a character.
Well-rounded, yeah.
Such like, even if he has a big sword, it still has like solid frame data for like a sword character. It still has massive hitboxes, extremely safe aerials. He has like the safest back air in the game that is even safe on parry if you fully parry it, which is
insane.
Very insane to think about. But we're getting into this next game here. Oh, the stage be Smashville. I do like this, trying to go for the smaller blast zones to get to get those early stocks off. As he tries to rack up the damage here, moving those uppies out of the shields, mixing the mid-range pokes that Cloud has with those kind of rush down like areas. Oh man, what a good read from the Zelda. Phantom stopping the limit blade beam. Doesn't have a jump. Will he make it back? No, he doesn't. Unfortunate. I don't think this would have mattered, but I believe the Phantom might have body blocked Robot Ninja a little bit from the body block from Phantom. I don't believe that mattered for this instance, but that's something to think about in the back of your head when you are Robot Ninja trying to make it back.
Yeah, Robot Ninja we see going for that forward smash off the recovery, right? Trying to get as aggressive as he will need to be if he is to take 6 stocks. But a limit-charged side B will certainly do the job from center stage, sending the Zelda to her doom. First stock down, 5 left to go. As Robot Ninja down one of his own, looks to start racking up some combos of his own, finds the up B out of shield, right? The classic Cloud move, right? Beyond maybe that back air. There it is again. And with a limit broken down, this is dangerous territory for Zelda.
What a call out from that forward air there. Very great idea. Unfortunately, did not get the sweet spot, so it did not spike. That would have ended the stock there. Has limits, so he can make it back. Oh no. Did not think that they would go for the option there, so couldn't get that grab to make it back. Great ledge trapping with that Phantom. Catching the delayed recovery with the dash attack that will kill, and just like that, Shenandoah is on their last stock. How will they respond?
Yeah, tough situation for Robot Ninja, and knowing what is on the line, right? Having to take out another player behind this is certainly not how you draw it up, right? But finding smash attacks like that is also not a bad thing, right? He's doing what he needs to do, getting aggressive, but it just hasn't quite worked out so far. As now looking for another read off the recovery, can't quite find the dash attack. Now 140% of dash attack will kill off that stock. Now this Zelda 1 stock remaining, and if Robot Ninja is able to take this one out relatively cleanly, you get a fresh stock, but 3 more ahead of you.
Yeah, and you see Robot Ninja having these like right ideas on trying to get past the Zelda zoning, but Zelda very quick to catch on to these kinds of approach options. Very good at keeping Robot Ninja away from charging the limit just in case. Gets sent back again. Oh, misses the timing for the ledge trap, but still has limits, so he can make it back. Good drift on the air dodge. Does not get the timing correct on the forward air. Oh no, wow. How risky from Robot Ninja, trying to go for that get up attack to swing back to try to get back to stage, but the slight hurt box shifting that Zelda does with her forward smash, taking a step back a little bit and leaning back forwards into the forward smash, that will take the first game of the series.
Yeah, I mean, very impressive stuff from that entire Randolph-Macon roster, looking very well-rounded, very complete, as they do take a 1-0 lead in this best-of-3 series. Strong showing from that Zelda as well, right? Finding their timings and their spacings very just well executed all around. That's scary if you're SU, right? That's a tough team. They look very complete.
Right, with that, I like the consistency off of their Zelda, has a very at least basic understanding of how the game works, how approaching goes and how zoning goes. When you're playing a character as unfortunately linear as Zelda, you kind of have to go for those kinds of flow. We call it flow chart. Yeah, kind of a flow chart kind of game plan. You do this option to get over my option. I will do this option. Let's say you try to jump over my Phantom. I will either nair you or up air you to keep you away from me. And it's just big guessing game from there.
Yeah, that's something we hear Kevin talk about a lot in more than just Smash Bros, right? We know that in all of the fighting games that flowchart is present, right? Can you predict what your opponent will do next given their options in any specific situation? But we will see what Shenandoah does now, down 1-0 in this situation, as they are left with some options, but need to claw back 2 straight sets in a row. We will see if they're able to do it, but we are going to take a quick break. So do not go anywhere. We have plenty more Smash Bros action to bring you.
Hand out, she holds. It's feeling like we've been here before. We're both so broke. That's something that'll keep us afloat. Don't walk too slow. We can't keep falling deeper again. Came too close and the taste so far from pure. A rush of blood, but we search for so much more. We've all been here before. We've all been here before.
Back and looking better than ever. We are here live from our esports arena in Winchester, Virginia. Chris Clayton joined once again by Kyle Dexter as we have some Shenandoah Smash Bros. Academy action as they look to take on Randolph Macon in Week 6 of NACE Varsity Plus competition. But before we get too far into the action, we did give you all a little tease during the first half of this show, right? We have our fun outfits. We've had some fun outfits pop up behind us, but we had a competition here in the arena for who had just the best, most fun, best looking, whatever you want type outfit, and we do have a winner. We said we would announce it on stream, and that time has come, Kyle. So, without further ado, I believe it's time to announce our winner as we get a little drum roll, please. So many great entrants, so many great costumes, but our winner is Luke Yeager as Big Boss. So, come on down. We have a goodie bag for you here. You look incredible, man. Thanks for coming out. Look at that,
Thank you
man.
all. This was a good time. I appreciate all of you.
Awesome, yeah. Thanks for coming out, man. So, great stuff there. Congratulations to Luke. Congratulations to everybody who came out and participated in our Halloween costume competition. We had a lot of fun here, and we certainly hope you all did as well. But with that out of the way, right, we have action to get into, right? We have Smash Bros. That we need to watch. We have Smash Bros. That we need to play. We just watched Shenandoah, unfortunately, drop 1-0 against this Randolph-Macon squad, who looked very strong all around. We only saw 3 players come out from the squad. Kyle, I want to ask, what do you think needs to change? What's the overarching thing you took away from that first series loss?
So I believe that that loss there might have just been like, maybe just matchup unfamiliarity. To my knowledge, I believe Kenza is still fairly new to me, Brahler. Previously a Fox player, but I did overhear from Igloo during the break that we had that you might be swapping back to Fox for this set. So maybe more familiarity with the character, opting for the Fox instead of the Brahler. Still play similarly in play style, but we'll have to see how that goes. But also, I didn't want to leave you hanging from the.
I appreciate that.
I felt bad once that happened. I was like, oh no, I can't leave him hanging.
I went for it. He had an eye patch. I didn't know if I should do it or not. But once it was up, I couldn't go back. And I don't know. It's all right, man. He looked great. I'm so happy for him.
Very good costume.
Yeah, he's got an awesome little goodie bag from our friends over at Corsair, including some other stuff in there. So I'm sure he will enjoy that. But without further ado, it's time to get into it, right? We have our first matchup, and you said it. Fox will be the first character of choice for this SU squad in Game 2.
And a new character I haven't seen before, Randolph Macon on the Sephiroth, going with the tag Morningstar. Very interesting matchup here is almost dying to the Nair up smash at 80%. That's something so interesting about this matchup. Maybe getting a little unlucky with the matchups from last game. You could say that SU's getting pretty lucky with these this matchup spread so far because Sephiroth, once you get a first look at him, he's a very big guy. So like normally you would think that he's like kind of heavy, right? But you'd be hard pressed to find out that Sephiroth is one of the lightest characters in the game. Interesting enough, but with how fast Fox is and Sephiroth's poor frame data, Fox can just run him over. As we see Kenza running him down on Morningstar, just overwhelming him with the jab block. Amazing job.
Wow, yeah, more smash attacks coming out, and I'm going to take a moment to acknowledge, I'll let my bias come through a little bit. I am generally a Sephiroth player, and I'm certainly no competitive player, but I don't mind telling you, you just never get used to how early you die on that character, right? It never quite feels right. You're right, he's so light. He's one of the lightest characters in the game, and it never quite feels like it makes sense, but the neutral B coming out and hitting hard as now Morningstar with a stock advantage, but well up and now over 100% is dangerous territory for such a light character like Sephiroth.
Right, and what ripping that S smash there, Morningstar maybe a little too trigger happy with those smash attacks, especially with how slow Sephiroth's moves are. You do have to have a lot more discipline ripping those very big committal moves are, because a lot of Sephiroth's moves are very committal. Even with the big range that he has, some of his moves still are unsafe. So, oh no, great DI from Kenza there. I did not think Fox would be able to survive that second charge neutral B. trying to catch the landing. Not getting the punish, though.
Yeah, this Sephiroth is really throwing out some heavy hitters, right? Big commitments. Look at these forward smashes. He wants to take this stock, and bad. It's a lot of smash attacks and a lot of down airs coming out from Morningstar, and if any of them land, it might spell death for Kenza, but if he's able to pick up on it,
there you
he
go.
sure is. The roll behind forward smash, taking the stock, and for the first time this series, SU with a lead.
Yeah, and, you know, very interesting to think about this character Sephiroth, you know, Morningstar, maybe a little too, like I said before, maybe ripping those forward smashes a little too much. As you saw, Kenza was able to just roll behind them and just get an easy punish off. And with how light Sephiroth is, you have to be very careful about that.
Yeah, with moves like that, you know, those brutal ending lags, right? I felt like so many times as soon as Fox crossed the 100% threshold, it was smash attack after smash attack, and so many like seconds with an S long ending lags, right? He was forced to stand still and just wait for Kenza to then kind of have his way, and sure enough, it comes back to bite him as we look back at these replays, right? I mean, a great forward smash there, and once again, the roll behind ready for the forward smash from the Sephiroth, and picking up on patterns, right? Pattern recognition is a big part of fighting games and adapting to your opponent. Exhibit A right there.
Right, and I wonder how Randolph Macon will fight back after this. We do have, we could, since we never saw that fourth player game one, we could maybe make the assumption that their fourth player is that Sephiroth Morningstar that we just saw. So I do wonder who they're going to send in next. You know, they have the Jigglypuff, Piranha Plant, and Zelda in the back. So for a character like Fox, you have to take that one stock. So, and considering how, from what we know so far, Sephiroth kind of being like the best character kind of like viability-wise on their roster, we will have to see how Randolph Macon will make it back from such, not a big deficit by any means, but just fighting such a terrifying character like Fox.
Yeah, and finding themselves in unfamiliar territory, at least in terms of today, right? They took set number one relatively commandingly. As I mean, you said it. We didn't even see the fourth character or the fourth player, and for all we know, that could have been the fourth player. So, Randolph Macon forced into a bit of an uncomfortable situation, right? You'd never like to be down after the first characters go out for both teams, but only a one-stock lead for Shenandoah. Certainly nothing to panic about if you're Randolph Macon. But Shenandoah looking to snowball this momentum into something bigger if they're able to take another stock or maybe two, right? Get some serious extra credit here. SU has an opportunity that they haven't had yet this series.
Yeah, something I noticed from this level of competition from our academy team is that they're a very momentum-based team. You know, like I thought before, they will send the Jigglypuff from going from like player-to-player records. Defeated Kenza pretty like convincingly. I think only losing one stock to Kenza's Meat Brawler, but we do have a Fox on Final Destination. No platforms to help him, but Jigglypuff on Alpine on Jigglypuff. We will have to see if Alpine will commit to those edge guards, assuming Alpine doesn't go for a rest to finish off the stock.
Yeah, and that's what you need to be so careful of. But we see the up tilt not quite land into the rest. And scary territory as we see another aggressive option from Alpine trying to really get that rest off as both attempts go unsuccessful. And Kenza now able to really control the stage, and look at that movement speed, right? He can be anywhere and everywhere whenever he needs to be. But wow, can't quite do it when he's catching forward smashes like that. An early kill, and one I did not see coming, as Jigglypuff able to wipe that stock lead away and take this right back to an even series.
Yeah, you saw Alpine and Jigglypuff catching that overextension from Kenza there, trying to just approach him in the air, which Fox isn't really known to be doing. You see Fox has not great air speed, but he has amazing ground speed. So he's basically a very like ground-based like play style. Just run you over with his good normals. Like he has a good dash attack, good down tilt, puts him in very advantageous positions. If you were to just approach through the air, Fox is like a significantly weaker character, but very interesting enough, Alpine and Jigglypuff trying to play a little more grounded as well. Trying maybe not to maybe catch some stray aerials from the Fox. That back air, pretty strong move. But maybe trying to fish for those rests like we saw around like one of the first few seconds of the game.
Yeah.
Almost getting that rest and almost paying the price for it. Though I do wonder if Kenza could have taken that stock if he were to commit to going for those lasers on the rest. So when you're stuck in some sort of like lag like that, let's say like you can stun or get shield broken, you can mash out. But I believe with Jigglypuff's rest, you can't mash out of rest. So I believe Kenza might have been able to just use a bunch of lasers to rack up the percent. And since they don't do any hit stun, it wouldn't interrupt the rest and lag at all. So I do wonder if Kenza had the time to just rack up a bunch of percent with some lasers, then commit to a smash attack, I wonder if that would have killed.
Yeah, I mean, little things can create such a difference in the long run, and you're right. I mean, that's something that we can now look back on and think, ugh, would love to have that back, but ultimately, right, you can't be too upset, right, with an even series going into both teams' second players, and I do believe it will be Tripophobia coming in as SU's second player, if I'm not mistaken. And sure enough, we will take you in-game to show that that is true. The Tripophobia Game & Watch making its return with an even series, even matchup ahead of them.
Right, and I do like this pick from Shenandoah. Game Watch plays a very shield-heavy playstyle, which is very good in this matchup considering how Jigglypuff likes to just open you up through the air, and she doesn't really like to grab if she prefers not to grab. She doesn't need to. So, because oh my goodness, just catching that landing with that forward smash, amazing for Tripophobia. And like I was saying, Chris, Jigglypuff doesn't like to grab because it would force her to go on the ground, and as you may know, Jigglypuff loves just playing the air. So if Tripophobia just commits just holding shield a lot of the time, you can just force the Jigglypuff to play on the ground, which is not ideal if you're Alpine.
Yeah, and the name of this series so far has been Smash Attacks, man. Even if they are not committing, or not confirmed, I should say, they're flying, and they are landing, all right? Tripophobia connecting 2 forward smashes so far this game alone, and one of them taking a stop, the other one just a little too early. But, I mean, this is the scary part of Game & Watch. We talked about it in set number 1, right? You certainly don't want to be above this character, but you said it, Jigglypuff likes to be in the air, and all of a sudden, we have a bit of an oxymoron, right? Where do you like to play if you're this Jigglypuff?
Yeah, and like the way you put it, Chris, describing it as an oxymoron, you know, Jigglypuff just loves to be in the air, but when you're playing against a character like Game & Watch, you just can't stay in the air, because Game & Watch just has just amazing options to contest you in the air. That back air, that nair, that up air. But when you're playing a character like Jigglypuff, you have to very much shift your game plan in a way that makes Jigglypuff as a character very uncomfortable.
Yeah, Tripophobia losing his first stock there as another forward smash lands, but the other direction. Both of these players were up over 100%, but a forward smash from Jigglypuff takes one, and the down air from Game & Watch will take another. So, Tripophobia with the 1 stock lead now again, but 50%, certainly nothing to scoff at, right? Not too shabby if you're in Tripophobia's shoes. Basically full stock ahead. Not super worried about that percentage, but again, I mean, looking for these setups, trying to get this Jigglypuff above him, but certainly doesn't have to try all that hard to do that, as, I mean, like we said, Alpine kind of wants to be up in the air, but trying to keep the lateral game going, right, with those long Jigglypuff hitboxes, the side Bs, the forward airs, the back airs, right, that seem to go so much farther than they ever look. But, I mean, jumping off that trampoline, finding the up airs, this is dangerous territory for Alpine.
Wow, it's just amazing glitch trap for Tripophobia there. Oh, wow, just way to catch the lazy recovery from Alpine there. Just instead of just opting to go for just, you know, another smash attack at ledge, just fishing for those bomb forward airs to get those, just capitalize off of Jigglypuff not having normal recovery, because Jigglypuff, usually a lot of characters have uppies where it's used to recover, but if you're Jigglypuff, that's sin, and you don't want to use that in that situation there. So Jigglypuff has to make it back through the use of her jumps, or air dodges, which all could very much lose to that bomb forward air from Game & Watch. So very good recognition from Cherrify, recognizing that Jigglypuff's way of making it back onto the stage from the bottom, very linear.
Yeah, and recognition and adaptation now leads us to a 2-stock lead, right? For the first time this series, we saw a 1-stock advantage after the first 2 players, but Cherrify, as we just got an opportunity to re-witness, taking control, right? Pulling ahead and ultimately looking to snowball some momentum, like we said during the break, right? That's what it takes to win a series of Smash like this.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder what character they'll send in next. If we're going by like player statistics, I imagine Randolph Macon want to send in that Piranha Plant again, because even if Cherrify had to take a little bit of time to fully adapt to how the Piranha Plant played. We might have to see, but it looks like we're just about to get into another game. We'll just have to see what that entails.
Yeah, we will let you know as soon as we know who that character is. But I think I agree, right? We saw this Piranha Plant take ultimately 3 stocks in the last series and just cause issues all around for this Shenandoah roster. But it is looking like we might be wrong. We are receiving word that it will be the Zelda player from before who took 5 stocks against this SU roster. So SU with 8 stocks remaining, and if trends continue, 5 stocks at risk. Not bad, but matchups matter, right? It's not as simple math as 8 minus 5. So we will prepare to load into game here as we are back into this Pokemon stage. Cherrify, 2-stock advantage he has created for himself now in his second matchup in this set number 2.
Right, and I do like this pick from Randolph Macon. You know, obviously beating Cherrify game 1 in a very convincing manner, but maybe more of like a role, like a team role aspect as well, because obviously Zelda being a very clear MVP of game 1, taking 5 stocks to finish off the game. So who knows like how many more they could have taken, but maybe I see this as an opportunity for Randolph Macon to potentially fight their way back, try to get into a more advantageous position.
Yeah, and we hear Cherrify getting aggressive behind us, getting loud, making sure that he is feeling good about himself. All right, trying to find his way in. 66% on the Zelda now as he finds a grab, tries to confirm it, does get a good roll read there into an up air. Now up to 100%, and this is kill territory for Game & Watch.
Right, and you do see how is he going to get the kill here, because for a character as defensive as Zelda, he wants to go for those outer shield options. So Game Watch doesn't really get a whole lot off of grabs at this percentage. We'll have to see how Cherrify will find his kill here. It looks like he's trying to fish for a Phantom Reflect, but Dreidel on Zelda, very recognizing the fact that that's what he's trying to fish for. So, not getting the grab range there. Game Watch grab, not very big, doesn't reach very far. But like you see Dreidel adapting really well to this new, like almost new beast that SU is unleashed right now with the Game Watch. As the Game Watch on Cherrify gets this second stock. This is first stock.
Yeah, taking the first stock in this matchup now is, I mean, we're seeing the effects of, or the strengths of this Zelda pick, the stage control and the back throw potential apparently, as the throw will kill from about center stage, but high percentage will certainly make that happen as we're now seeing, again, the stage control, the zoning, the capabilities of this character, and especially when you're off the ledge is when you start to feel it, as now Cherrify has found himself in a couple tight spots, trying to make his way just back on stage anywhere, not even center stage, but finally finds his way in, gets a good amount of jab damage off, but the up B lands right on top of him and launches him well off stage.
Right, and racking up 10% there. Dreidel catching on to how Cherrify has adapted to this new playstyle of Zelda, trying to get that setup with a grab into the Phantom to finish off the game. Hitting the leg chain with the early cancel Phantom that will take it. Randolph Macon slowly making their way back. I believe the set count is now 6-5 in Shenandoah's favor. Or I believe Yeah, 6-5.
Yeah, 6-5 should be the stock count, and we, again, see this Zelda show out when they need to, right? Finding the advantages, finding the opportunities to really put Trip away, not let him run away like he did against the Jigglypuff, and now, excuse me, still losing one stock in that matchup means that we will likely be sending out Wailing number 5 as player number 3 out of SU. This Ganondorf is making a return.
Yeah, and I am very interested in this pick here from Shenandoah, because we do see from Dreidel that they weren't afraid to commit to those just maybe like mid-screen to full-screen camping, and with how slow of a character Ganondorf is, it's going to be very interesting to see how Wailing number 5 will find his way in. I can imagine that he'll try to fight his way back to try to break that space with the Wizard's Foot, but I could really only see that working a couple times.
Yeah, Ganondorf will certainly struggle in this matchup, I would think, right? I mean,
for sure.
You know, we said he's going to struggle in just about any matchup, and with Ganondorf, that's just a little deceptive, right? He gets kills in different ways than your average character. So just looking to find value here, right, as Wailing number 5 will be forced to, go into a tough matchup, right? Every matchup is tough for Ganondorf, but this one just feels a little different, right, with the amount of range and AoE control that Zelda has. We saw how much trouble it caused for Tripophobia's Game & Watch. God only knows what is capable against a Ganondorf, but Wailing number 5 is a very strong Ganondorf, right? We know what this player can pull off in uncomfortable situations, so we'll see if today is another one of those exceptions that he just seems to find his way out of.
Right, and I do wonder what kind of stage you're going to go for, because I imagine the Zelda Dreidel would try to go ban a couple, well, it's 3 bans for NACE. Try to ban those bigger stages. If I were Dreidel, I'd probably do the same thing. I might want to ban stages like Pokemon Stadium. I want to ban smaller stages, so Zelda would have more room to run around in. So maybe ban stages like Smashville, maybe like Small Battlefield, maybe like Hollow Bastion, because there are a lot of big stages in this current like competitive stage list that we have. So we'll have to see what they send now. And we just got word. It looks like it might be Small Battlefield. Still a fairly neutral stage, not too big but not too small. But we will have to see how this one plays out as round number 5 goes in.
6 stocks remaining for SU, 5 stocks remaining for Randolph Macon. We get back to the action as we bring Smash Bros back to your screen. It will be Wailing number 5, like we said, tasked with taking 2 stocks off this Zelda, and we'll see how he's able to pull it off. Able to get in early so far, finding a couple good hitboxes, not quite landing too many more than just a nair, but here is where things get scary. If Wailing number 5 finds himself too far away at any given moment, Zelda can really start taking over.
Right, and you see here, just stuffing out any sort of approach that Wailing number 5 wants to send his way. Because once you see that Dreidel has used up whatever resource he has in the zoning, either the Denz Flare or the Phantom, you try to just dash up, maybe get like a grab or a dash attack, instantly going for that neutral be very invincible on startup. So it's almost impossible to contest with a character like Ganondorf. Unless you're using a Disjoint, which is only tied to Ganondorf's smash attacks, so Wailing number 5 have to fully commit to that.
Yeah, and I'm curious, I don't believe we've seen a Wizard's Foot come out just yet, so certainly something to keep an eye on as this series continues.
There you go.
There it is, right? That gap closing ability that Ganondorf has to try to make his way in, but what he doesn't have is recovery, catching a Zelda fireball well off stage, and a well-placed fireball ultimately results in a kill for this Zelda. Even stocks across the board.
Right, and you saw, unfortunately, that's how the cookie crumbles to playing a character like Ganondorf. That Denz Flare can reach very low heights, as you just saw there. Wailing number 5 already used his jump, but as you saw, catching that up B, throwing him off guard to take that first stock, and starting to snowball a little bit. Randolph Macon potentially finding their way back into the lead of this game, but stock count is even. Not getting the up smash punish, how unfortunate. maybe turn around and might have just done it, but there you go. Recognizing that move is incredibly unsafe. Only number 5, right when I say he's starting to get even, finds his way back to set Shenandoah in the lead.
Yeah, great adaptation there from Wailing number 5, able to get the shield off on the up B, and you said it, that move is very unsafe. The moment he gets that off, he's got a moment to punish however he chooses, and at a percentage like that, any Ganondorf smash attack will do the job. And now, you got to be a little nervous if you're Dreidel, right? Wailing number 5 still has 2 stocks remaining, so with a stock advantage and Zelda now up to almost 70%, that's kill territory for Ganondorf, right? One bad moment, one bad beat for this Zelda could mean death as he gets the shield on the up B, but can't quite punish that time. And now a great Phantom placement, able to take that one out. Even stocks again, but 100% on this Zelda. The shielded up B once more, an up smash to take them to the top blast zone, and Wailing number 5 gets the job done.
And there you go. Again, recognizing how unsafe of a move that is. A lot of Zelda players do still like to go for those up Bs to land back on the stage, and you know, it's a very bad habit a lot of Zelda players like to have. That's just how the character teaches. It's no fault of any of the Zelda players out there, but it's just how the character works. You know, sometimes zoners like that can teach some bad habits like that when you have a very potent way to get him off of you. But you know, as you saw, catching on to his uppies into Wailing number 5 when it's mainly should be used as a more of a defensive option, maybe as an out of shield option, but you still have that invincible neutral B that's also very fast on startup as well as a way to get your opponent off of you.
Yeah, so here comes the interesting part from Randolph Macon, right? The one player from the first series that we haven't seen yet is that Piranha Plant.
Right.
And with 3 stocks remaining, 1 player remaining for Randolph Macon, we have to believe that it will be that Piranha Plant unless we somehow missed that Piranha Plant and Sephiroth were the same player, but I think we feel pretty good that that was not the case.
Yeah.
So, with a Piranha Plant presumably being the remaining 3 stocks for Randolph Macon, how do you feel from an SU perspective knowing what we have in stock as well?
So I feel there's a lot of counter pick potential here. If this is under the assumption that Randolph Macon's last player is indeed that Piranha Plant, we will have to see though, because we still have Chiliad on Joker, as well as Robot Ninja on Cloud. Just very consistent and like fast characters versus a very slow and kind of like a turtley character like Piranha Plant. I can imagine just kind of runs them over.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see because Piranha Plant is one of those characters that we just don't see very often in general, right? They're very good at what they're good at, but that's not many things.
He's really good at that one thing that's honestly one of the best neutral Bs in the entire game, but that's pretty much all he has.
Right.
Other than like a pretty good up smash out of shield, as well as that up throw as well. But that's about it.
Yeah, and we are receiving word from our production team that we've got a bit of a mix-up coming our way. The last player from Randolph Macon tasked with taking now 4 stocks off SU will be an Incineroar.
Very interesting choice here, and this is what I was saying before. I did say before that normally Ganondorf would have like a bit of an easier time versus like slower big bodies like K. Rool and DDD, but I've seen a lot of Ganon players not really think the same about Incineroar. But if I had to guess, that might just be because of, even though Incineroar somehow slower than Ganondorf, the slowest and Incineroar, who's the slowest character in the game, has some honestly pretty fast buttons. Like if you sat down and played Incineroar, you honestly like sometimes forget to think that he's like a heavy with how like good his normals are. Sometimes his normals are like pretty fast. Sometimes you just forget of like his whole archetype when you just kind of just getting those big and fast normals and those like very devastating command grabs.
Yeah, and I can't help but think that with a Ganondorf into an Incineroar, that this will probably be a pretty quick match we're about to watch. Like
in one way or another.
Yeah, they're both going to die at low percents. They're both not going to be able to recover from off stage if they ever find themselves there. So we've got some heavy hitters coming your way here pretty soon. Some big, heavy players in the form of Incineroar and Ganondorf. Something that we don't get to see very often on this show is we're so used to our varsity players light roster. But here we have it, right? The heavy on heavy matchup. Incineroar on Ganondorf. SU with a 1-stock advantage, looking to get a little bit of a lead going into potentially our last play.
Right, and if I were on the side of SU, I would think this as a way to get as much extra credit from lane number 5 as much as you can. Not opting to go for an up. Oh, it does not have a jump there. How unfortunate and anticlimactic from lane number 5. Maybe unfortunately maybe they try to jump out of that forward smash from that down throw. Honestly, not too sure. We might have to come back to the replays for that.
Yeah, we might have to get a replay there from our team in the back room, but I also hate to say I called it, but I did say that was going to be a pretty quick match. Not quite how I saw it playing out, but quick nonetheless, so I'm going to stand up here and take my moment to say I was right. Anyway, it's not often that I get to make predictions like that in Smash Bros. Usually that is left to Kevin, and he tends to be right, but sure enough, yes. SU now with 1 player remaining and an even slate, right? We are now completely washed free of any advantages. It will be a true to form 1v1, 3 stocks on 3 stocks Incineroar against whoever SU decides to send out.
Right, and if we're going off of like Shenandoah Academy's general track record, they do like to anchor Robot Ninja on the cloud. Maybe he's very comfortable in mainly just being a very anchor-heavy player. Maybe stone cold nerves. He doesn't get very nervous because coming from my competitive experience, it is very stressful to be an anchor. But maybe they chose their captain, Robot Ninja, to be the anchor as a way to just because maybe Robot Ninja is very good at dealing with those nerves. I do believe with their current major, we do believe they are a conservatory major. So maybe that has something to do with it, you know. Maybe are getting used to performing in front of an audience.
When the lights come on.
Maybe maybe that can be applied to here.
Yeah, I mean that's such a massive factor in really any team setting, but especially in a team-based 1v1 setting, and that sounds stupid because this is the only situation where we really see that. Smash Bros. Is a one-on-one game, and although we are here with teammates and rosters, at the end of the day, it will come down to one player, and sure enough, we have that both directions. Randolph Macon looking to put Shenandoah away. Shenandoah fighting for their series lives as they are down 1-0 so far, but with Robot Ninja in the game, we will see. Shenandoah's able to stay alive, but with no jump, a tough start. Untouched is Eris on this Incineroar, finding a great kill, great timing on the tilt attack to put Cloud off, and unfortunately, Shenandoah now does find themselves in an early deficit.
Unfortunate from Shenandoah, but if you're on the side of Randolph, making very smart from Eris there, using the F tilt to 2-frame, catching the Cloud recovery, because you know Cloud's recovery, as good of a character Cloud is, very linear recovery, even with the walls from from Kalos Pokemon Stadium, allowing Cloud to wall jump, not really helping there when Cloud doesn't have a jump to mix up his recovery that well.
Yeah, we see him now charging that limit, right? If you're going to get back into this game, it's going to take some pretty heavy hits. But, I mean, Incineroar can certainly match those heavy hits. But up the off stage.
There's that armor. Wow. Oh my goodness. That was so interesting, but so unfortunate at the same time. The super armor from the cross chop on Eris, armoring through the entirety of limit climb hazard. How unfortunate if you're on the side of Shenandoah when they had so much momentum going into this after that first round of this game too, having all of it shot down. Maybe it's starting to snowball a bit for Randolph Macon's favor, but you do see Robot Ninja showing a little bit of signs of life, trying to fight back with that limit cross slash to beat that Darkest Lariat. You do see trying to catch those landings, those aggressive landings. You do see Eris trying to fight back as soon as he can.
Yeah, Robot Ninja showing that he is still absolutely in this game, right? And a couple unfortunate mistakes, unfortunate moments for this Shenandoah player, but certainly not out of it yet, right? As long as you have one stock up there, you are still in the game. And with only one stock, that means we're still here. So a limit break up B will send Robot Ninja very high and onto the stage, but now up to 122%. A little scary now is just trying to find his way in, right? 2 stocks remaining on Eris as a tall hill to climb, and an up air from the center stage will do it. Shenandoah goes down. Robot Ninja just not quite able to get into the rhythm, and SU falls 0-2 to Randolph Macon.
How heartbreaking on the side of Shenandoah when they showed so much promise with that game too. But, you know, just keeping up with that lead, starting with Kenza from on the Fox into that Sephiroth, starting to go down. Tripophobia, again, a lot of mileage with that Game & Watch, you know, beating that Jigglypuff Alpine, who previously was a pretty big threat going to Game 1. It looked like everything was falling into place for Shenandoah to take this Game 2, but then just when we know it, Randolph Macon sends in a curveball. They throw in that Incineroar that we haven't seen before, and it seemed to work really well on the side of Randolph Macon.
Yeah, strategies can get so interesting in these types of games, these fighting games, right? Especially, like I said before that series, Smash Bros. Is so unique in the sense that, you know, this is a team game. You can make moves like that and send in subs and other players when you least expect it, and it creates some very interesting predicaments for your opponent. But unfortunately, that will do it for us here as our Smash section of the night begins to wind down. But we are not actually done here. We still have a Rocket League match that we will be bringing to you right after this. So thank you for watching our Smash section. Be sure to stay tuned and drop us a follow on whatever platform you're watching. That will do it for me and Kyle here. But we're going to take a quick break and be right back with Molly and Ben talking Rocket League. So we will see you there.
Welcome back from our brief intermission from our Smash Brothers gameplay. While our Academy team did fall 0-2 in their matchup, we still have another game that's going on. Our Rocket League team is currently playing their NECC matchup, and in fact, we're actually going to head straight into the gameplay, Ben. We are jumping in midway through the series. The Hornets are down 0-2, but after his close game 2, they're hoping to bring it back around for game 3.
Yeah, Fanshawe already off to a phenomenal start thus far, 2-0 up on the series. Kicking off into game number 3, SU trying to avoid a sweep. And on the side of SU, we have a little bit of a switch up on this varsity squad. We have Kiazi and Mango, the staples of this team thus far, but Alim not in the lineup thus far. We have Pagani from Academy stepping in to fill Nate's shoes here. Let's see what they can get going.
And I think this is kind of an important thing, too. For our NECC games, we don't really have a varsity and an academy roster. They all kind of blend together because of players' availability. So today, it is 2 of our typical varsity players, and Pagani joined them, who was formerly on the varsity team a little bit over a year ago now. So he's made that return, currently on the academy roster, but actually about the same rank as our other player, Alim, is. And you can see where this is coming through. Shenandoah, they had a really rough start to game number 1, and this isn't something where that's unknown for them, right? It takes them a while to get into the game. Game 2, for example, 5-minute overtime. Long ways drawn out. But you're coming into that off of a loss and keeping this rather contested. I think that at this point, the Hornets have a good idea of what Fanshawe wants to accomplish and can counter it accordingly.
Yeah, no, we're about a minute and a half in. SU doing a great job at finding those clears, finding these defensive angles to keep Fanshawe out of the net. But I mean, Fanshawe as well doing a great job at contesting these mid balls, able to find these clears, find the aggression into these corners, and keep the offensive power in their favor.
Yeah, so relatively even game so far. Pagani dribble out to the corner. Actually managed to get past 2 players from Fanshawe. The traffic in front of the net, though. Kiazi can't quite get there in time, and it's Mango who got demolished. The Hornets off tempo from their usual rotation and forced to regroup for the time being. We'll have to see what they can make this happen. The Hornets have maintained this ball in the blue part of the field for quite some time now, which is rather different compared to the first start. We had a lot of ping-ponginess going on, and to see this elongated form of offense is great from the Hornets.
Pagani now trying to get aggressive, but won't be able to do so. Sustain, able to find the clear, find the rotation into this offensive side, but Kiazi will keep that one out from the middle of the field, the net rather. But I mean, Fanshawe still doing a great job at keeping control of this ball. Now finding themselves back on the defensive side of things as Kiazi tries to find a pass to Mango. They will connect on it, but it won't result in a shot just yet.
This is great from the Hornets. They have been pretty much shutting down Fanshawe in their own half of the field so far. And honestly, Ben, this isn't a common thing that we see from the Hornets. Fanshawe have really been struggling to break through. They're not going for these big passing plays kind of to get downfield. You have to keep it close, like we're seeing YZ Slides do it now. Problem is, a little bit too slow, and Kiazi got enough of a read on it to hold any form of attack in that regard. Voidex now kind of lost possession midway through an attempted pass to Sustain, who now takes their own shot, but Kiazi in the way, bounces it off back to the corner, and it's finally Fanshawe on some offense. Wisely slide another opportunity, but this ball is moving so slow. The Hornets, it's right in front of them, but sometimes it's the slow ones that'll get you.
Yeah, Kiazi was able to find that touch in the air, but then the follow-up from Sustain. Mango unable to get off that crossbar in time to find the save. Fanshawe up 1-0 here with 1:31 to go in game 3.
With that, and with how long it took for that 0-0 scoreline to break, I mean, you have to imagine here that Fanshawe aren't going to let the Hornets get back on the board easily unless they just deliver it right down to Pagani. All right, I'll go ahead and eat my own words.
I mean, it's just a whiff, right? I mean, Pagani able to find that backboard, but they just straight up missed the ball. Fanshawe unable to connect with that one, and Pagani just sitting, waiting in position, and capitalizes on that 10-second goal to tie it up at 1.
Voidex was in the right spot. They knew exactly what they had to do in that situation, but as you know with Rocket League, Ben, even the smallest room of error can be catastrophic, and Fanshawe's very short-lived lead almost came back there, almost a 1-2 punch, and as pretty as it was, it's not enough to break past Shenandoah for now. It's Kiazi passing up to Mango. Sustain on the defense, doesn't get it. Pass back to Pagani, but it's still high. Off the crossbar, double tap. How many times? He touched this ball against the net. Doesn't matter because it's not in.
Oh, and now, a shot just off of the post. Unable to capitalize on the commitments coming through from SU is Fanshawe. But, I mean, SU, they had so many looks at that goal, but they were not able to find the back of the net, right? I mean, Mango trying to find the toss off of the crossbar, but unable to find anything thus far. Sustained sitting on the wall there, pushing that one back out towards the corner. But, I mean, this is 1-1, 30 seconds left. I don't know if it's going to be done in regulation.
It might not be. Ben, as we said before, it was a 5-minute overtime in game number 2, and the Hornets, with how they keep playing, we might be going that same way. Shots have been fired left, right, and center, but none of them have quite hit their mark. Each team is on their best form of defense at this point with 6 seconds left to go. It's Mango, one final attempt to tip it over, but Vertex signs it sneaking a little bit too far away from Shenandoah's striker player, and it's only a matter of time before this ball touches the ground. They're to try to keep it up. Kiazi sees his center, pass to Mango, needs to have some sort of follow-up because it goes wide. Pagani there, we're running out of boost on the Hornets, and honestly, Fanshawe would be better off if this ball just cuts the ground based on its positioning, and it seems that that's what they're going to do. Kill it down. We're going into our second overtime of the day.
Yeah, overtime number 2. We're tied 1 apiece. The kickoff in favor of SU, but Fanshawe in position to receive that one in the corner. Now Pagani with a shot on goal. Vertex able to find the clear, be the car in the way. But now it's Kiazi up in the air, a touch off of the crossbar, unable to find the angle to seal the deal in game 3.
No, it hasn't quite been there. And if we know anything about overtimes, it's all of that kind of intensity that you had during that regular time of the game, it's multiplied, right? You know that one mistake here can mean the difference of winning and losing, and that's the situation Fanshawe almost found themselves in. The Hornets have been continuing to put pressure on this defensive blue side of the field, and Fanshawe have really been struggling to make it past these midfield line with how clean the Hornets rotations have been.
Yeah, Pagani, Mango trying to find these clears across the stadium, the field. Kiazi trying to carry it down into that corner, but unable to find any purchase on that one. A minute now into this overtime. Fanshawe doing a great job at finding these clears, keeping the defense up, but SU, the same, right? Finding these clears, finding these crosses. Pagani in position, but unable to get there in time. Sustained beats him to the ball.
Sustained playing that near post, and it's Wisely Wheels to get back in the side. Oh my goodness. Like the Hornets, they're doing everything right here now. Fanshawe's defense is just on another level, and that's the unfortunate thing, Ben, is even though we see the Hornets vast majority of the time on this attack, the one weak spot that we've seen from them time and time again has been this transition back and forth, and that's why Mango's job here is all the more important. He has to make sure that this ball stays on this blue side, because if it switches around so quick, the Hornets might find themselves leaving a vulnerable spot open.
Yeah, they're trying to get aggressive off of this backboard, but unable to find anything just yet. A demo does come through, but Mango in position will be able to find the save. Pagani off of respawn as well, trying to win the 50-50. Keeps it in Fanshawe's half of the field. Now it's Kiazi able to send that one back over towards midfield. Now Vertex in the air, getting aggressive, but just barely redirected off of the post for SU.
Mango, beautiful touch from him. That was Fanshawe about to escort this series home, and they're fighting to keep in this. Mind you, Fanshawe score a goal here. Not only is it game 3 going to them, it's the entire series is over. The Hornets quite literally have their backs up against a wall, needing to score this point to stay alive in the series, to maintain a winning record within their NECC season. And with how good Fanshawe, they're starting to get more confident here as we're approaching that 3-minute mark of OT. This series has been pushed to the limits. It's going to continue being that way. Vertex yet another one, and the Hornets holding on.
Yeah, trying to find these clears. A little bump coming through, and that will be the goal. Sustained in the perfect position. The bump coming from Slides as well was huge in that instance. Bumping Pagani out of the way. Sustained Kiazi trying to get back in time, but that was just great team play coming from Fanshawe.
And I really do want to shout out Fanshawe there, because most of the time, they didn't have possession. You're playing a reactionary style of Rocket League, which is much harder to do than trying to set your own tempo, trying to set your own pace. And when you're doing this, you have to find a way to flip the script at some point, which eventually, once we got later into that game, Shenandoah, they put so much into that first part of overtime. They threw everything at it, and slowly you start to burn out. It's been so much time of just intense focus that when you eventually have to let up, or an incredible play like that one, Fanshawe getting the bump, the disruption that they needed, and that's going to go ahead and be the series right there. Very impressive stuff, even if we just saw one game today.
Yeah, I mean, that was 2 overtimes, pretty long overtimes back-to-back. What, that was about 2.5, 3-ish minute overtime there in game number 3. It was a 5-minute overtime in game number 2. So these squads were playing extremely close to each other.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Fanshawe just doing a great job at finding those opportunities, finding that team coordination, being like, all right, I'm going to find Pagani here, just take the shot, sustain, read it beautifully, able to find that goal. But also on the side of SU, they had a lot of good opportunities too, right? But it's just Fanshawe's defense stepping up, finding those clears, and SU unable to capitalize.
And I do want to give Shenandoah the credit they deserve here, because on a team that we're used to, mind you, this isn't the typical roster that they play. They only play with its roster on these Thursday NECC games. They don't scrim with this roster. Pagani comes in strictly to play today. And the fact that it didn't look like they missed a beat, let alone really almost looked better in the way that they were controlling the ball and overall the space on the field was impressive. And it wasn't their own fault that they really got disrupted there. It was a nice play from Fanshawe to quite physically disrupt. That's what Fanshawe, they're just like, wow, this is so clean. We need to get physical, like just literally just punch someone in the face to make sure they can't block this anymore. And that's what ended up happening. So the Hornets were really on their A game today, and I'm looking forward to what they can continue to do with this roster. Yeah,
I mean, I like this kind of look, right? We haven't seen Pagani, Mango, and Kiazi play a whole lot together, right? At least I haven't. Personally. So I like the look coming through with this squad. I know we're missing a Lim as well, who is always just a staple in this roster as well, always very consistent on that defensive side, especially when it comes to those passing lanes with finding Kiazi, especially finding Mango and a lot of these connections that those two players have together. But maybe this is an angle that SU can look for in the future, right? If we think that this matchup will go differently with Pagani than a Lim, or possibly someone else getting subbed out with Pagani, we have that capability because Pagani is a very capable player on his own.
Yeah, and it's been great to see him step up on the Academy roster, but also here today with that quote-unquote mix that we have going on. And, well, the Hornets will drop to 3-3 so far for their NECC record. You got to be pretty happy considering Fanshawe we're heading into this 4-1. You did your best, and I think there is still so much more to be seen from this team. But that is going to be all that we have for us here tonight on the desk. It is Halloween after all, so I hope everybody has a little bit of fun with that. Don't eat too much sugar, though. That's never too much fun. But enjoy yourselves. Have a safe, great rest of your night, and we'll catch you back tomorrow for some Academy Overwatch.
Shenandoah University is a big little university rising.
With 22 Division III sports teams, over 200 areas of study,
over 300 annual performances, an elite academic esports program,
nationally ranked health professions programs, one of the biggest university presences on Broadway,
immersive AR and VR learning programs,
cybersecurity and computer science programs, and innovative undergrad and graduate programs.
all at a place that cares for you.
Shenandoah University is the big little university rising. Find out more at su.edu/rising.
We have the esports arena right here on campus in Winchester, Virginia, and this facility acts as the hub for all esports activity at Shenandoah University. Students are able to use this space not just for competition and practices, but also as a living learning community and a sandbox for them to come and explore and practice and try out things related to and through esports in the gaming industry, so that they're getting that hands-on learning and the skills necessary to help them find a career by the time they graduate. We also have the professional level broadcast production booth, where we do all of our broadcasting and production, from casting of our games that we play right here on campus to working with outside entities to record footage for them as well. In addition to the space that we have here in the esports arena is the esports war room. Our students get to use that space for studying, but also outside projects. So our students get to use this space for professional development and the academic side of our esports program, which is such a critical component to go with that competitive element that we have. So we combine all of our facilities at Shenandoah University with competition, community, and career preparation. We have over 250 days of programming, and there's something for everybody, and we want you to be part of it.